right, how y'all doing, folks? Today's topic is your I-130 is approved, but not the I-485. Friends, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting. I'm here to answer any of your questions as best as I can, and let's get down to it. Okay, so you might have a situation where you've you might be thinking like, why is my petition approved but not my 485? Right? So I'm going to answer this situation first for you. But of course, if you have any questions, you're welcome to drop it in the comment section down below. All right. Now, if for some reason I'm not able to get to you, I will try my best. I'll probably be on for about 10, 15 minutes today. Then I got to get going to a next meeting. But look, if you are a little shy to comment down here, it's okay. Welcome to contact us. Contact us. We do offer a free mini strategy session to point you in the right direction. 15 minutes, no cost to you, but it's not automatic. You do have to call into our team, and our cares team will pre-qualify you for those 15 minutes, no cost to you. Okay. Now they are not attorneys. All right. I think you may know that when you first call into a law firm, typically lawyers are not the first person you're going to talk to. So please know they will share some information with you, but do not rely on it as legal advice. You do still need to speak with one of us attorneys. All right. So otherwise, if you're at work or you want to fill out the form in the evening time when you have some time away from work, you can go to this website, freevisaquiz.com, and just answer a few questions. Let's see here. But our main website is greencardguys.com. You find a lot of information. In fact, we do have, all right, let me move around here. We do have some free guides, okay? Right here, some guides on our website that contains answers to common questions and an estimate step by step. Now, the other thing, the most common one is this sucker right here: sue for legal status, get that status that you deserve. Because unfortunately, many of the consults I've been helping with lately is when people are stuck. They are stuck. So, and it's really for any application that has to do with U.S. immigration, unfortunately. And it's whether you're stuck after the interview, and maybe you had the interview like 2 months or more longer, or by the way, in the interview seemed like it was fine, nothing wrong, or you're waiting for your application to be scheduled for an interview. Some people waiting like 3 years or longer. So that's absolutely ridiculous. But it really depends on the scenario. I'm not saying you have to wait 3 years, but for example, for asylum cases that are waiting for an interview, we typically wait at least 4 years before we sue them, USCIS. And fortunately, knock on wood, we've been receiving the interview date within about 2 to 4 months after we sue. Okay. So of course, I'm going to get down to answer this situation, and then I'll answer some of your questions. Let's see here. Okay, so the first thing about this is that I think someone had talked about this just yesterday, possibly, but we just happen to have this as a topic today. I think, yeah, yesterday the person, if I remember, he or she did not know, was not aware that they had a court case, okay, removal proceedings that had ordered them removed. And that's because they didn't have the address, which makes sense, because if you didn't have a case on file, you wouldn't have an opportunity to basically provide your address, update them. All right. So, okay. So, typically when you have an I-130 approved, you might be wondering, why is my 485 not approved at the same time? And typically that's because USCIS sees in the system that there's a court case, a case in removal proceedings, whether it's still open, existing, or administratively closed, or administrative closed. It wouldn't be dismissed, because if it was dismissed, that's actually what you're looking for. So the person yesterday, he or she had that case that was closed, but in the sense that it was ordered removed without their knowledge. So we had to file a motion to reopen based on lack of notice, for example. It's not always the same reason. It depends on your scenario, your situation. Um, but that's a typical situation when the I-130 is approved, but not the 485. Because when you have that, if you were to have an interview, which is typically the default, by the way, we are in a 2023 trend with USCIS that they are waiving interviews. Number one, that's typically for marriage cases, and number two, that does is not automatic for everyone. It does require, of course, for us, fortunately, we've been successful in getting these interviews waived because we rely on our proven checklist and our clients follow it. And number one, I can tell you part of what it is that you need a bank account that you have both names on it. Okay, you need to allow access for that for your spouse. Now, because in the government's perspective, if you're not willing to share access to at least one bank account, doesn't mean it has to be more than one or all of them, at least one, then it conveys to the USCIS that you care about each other, that you want to live a life together because you want to share your bank account to the extent that the other spouse can use it, can withdraw money. Not saying, hopefully, knock on wood, withdraw all the money out, um, but that the both spouses have the ability to withdraw and deposit money. And by the way, you do need to use it. Okay, we've heard of people, they open it, share it, and they don't use it. The whole point is that you have to use it to share statements that shows your transaction activity, deposits and debits, credit and debit. Okay, so hopefully that helps. But yeah, keep asking the questions. Okay, now I'm gonna get to um, what you need to do on that. Okay, so you might need to file a motion reopen if there is a court case. Um, that's typically the scenario when they only approve one. So, but then you might think, well, why even approve the I-130? Why do that? Because the 485, when there's a case in court, that's where the 485 gets stuck because the 485 application is for the resident status. The I-130 is to establish your legal relationship. So in this sense, like let's say a marriage, it's because if someone, I remember a pro bono case where many years ago, the person wasn't serving in the military, a veteran, and so we picked up a case and helped him out. And there, it turns out he was in a different country serving the U.S. military when his spouse filed for divorce. And so he signed some documents, right? And he thought, and I'm assuming he signed a waiver of service. I didn't go into that detail. And he thought it was done. He probably didn't pay attention what the actual document was that he signed. Otherwise, he would remember. But it likely was not the divorce order. He likely signed the waiver of service. So every state is different, but more or less we have similar documents in that sense, the titles. So he thought, anyway, he thought the marriage was over. Okay, that he was divorced. So he got married to someone else and filed for a green card. So that's another scenario. But the petition would get denied in that situation. And it was for him because he thought his first marriage was complete, was divorced. I mean, not complete, that the divorce case was complete. But it wasn't. So, and USCIS found out because ultimately they asked for the divorce order. So that's an example where the I-130 petition could be denied. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Give you all some insight on that. So don't wait. If you're in a situation and you find out, whether through the USCIS officer or through other means, that you have a court case, do not wait. All right, so on to the questions. Hey, Marlene, nice to see you. Coco, you asked for advice, but you weren't clear. Then you need to call in. You need to call in because I think I was clear, but you're welcome to ask the question here. Yeah, GC. It probably was not clear because I didn't see your other comments jumping through the other folks until later. But yeah, you're GC holder, so you need to apply to become a citizen, which I don't remember if you said that you applied. You said you received some. I will go back to the other comments, but I want to answer Coco first. So I want to clarify. You received the RFE for 45 tax transcripts. Should we just respond to RFE and see what happens? Yeah, you absolutely need to respond to RFE. Do not wait. What's the alternative? You definitely have to respond before the deadline. There is a deadline, so the time is limited. If you don't respond, yeah, you can't apply to be USC till 2026. Okay. Mm, I don't remember all the facts. Yeah, this is just a scenario. You got to call in if you want more information that I provided. Because as you could tell yesterday, I was going back and forth because I was looking at all the different comments. So it's yeah, the best case scenario is that you have to be a U.S. citizen. Okay. To waive the unlawful presence. But now I'm remembering. See, it was just yesterday. It's really better you call in. But I think you're saying that he still is on F1 visa, student visa. It's just more about the CPT situation. So if he still maintained status F1, then he's okay on that. Okay. But working without authorization is not technically a legal inadmissibility. So hopefully that helps. But then again, like your RFE shouldn't need to share information about him working or not working. This is specific to you, Coco, as the U.S. citizen or green card holder sponsor. So if you were showing his income because he had CPT, then clearly you can't show the income anymore. And if you then that means you need a joint sponsor. Okay, so hopefully that helps. I think that's what you're trying to get at. Maybe that you need a joint sponsor in that sense. I would not rely on his income anymore because you have to, yeah, you have to show you have work authorization in that sense. Okay. I don't have my normal mic right now because I'm at the office. But it sounds like y'all can hear me a bit better. Okay, you do have a joint sponsor, so I don't see what the issue is then. Go ahead and respond to the RFE. Don't wait on it. Okay. Let's see. Okay, now back up to Marlene. Well, one more thing about Coco. If you have a joint sponsor, again, I'm not sure why you're sharing information to USCIS about your spouse's work. I think I said that, but just to super clarify that. Okay, so Marlene, you're asking, you were at the embassy, I think you're saying? You were at the embassy March 1st, 2023, so that was about almost 2 months ago. They kept your passport and documents, they didn't do anything for you. That's common to hear, unfortunately, Marlene, that the officers ask for the passport, and of course, everyone believes, including the officer, thinks that they're going to issue the visa, but then something happens in the system, or even practically speaking, they give the case file to a higher level supervisor, and something just makes it stuck. And I know we've heard people that give the passport, but then think they're going to get the visa, but they need the passport back ASAP because they had travel plans. So it's if that's the case, you have travel plans, you want to connect and contact the embassy as soon as possible because you, of course, people pay money for those tickets. I'm not saying it's easy to get that passport back, but try, okay? Okay, so um, but yeah, otherwise, to your specific concern, Marlene, that was March, so it's May now. I always say at least minimum 2 months waiting for that before suing the government when it's related to your kind of case when you're outside America. Um, but we would need to know more details. Okay, did they give you a 221G or whatnot like that? So let us know. Yeah, let us know what the 221G said. Did you have to provide 5535 form, DS 5535? I think someone the other day mentioned they had to fill out the form twice. So clearly shows the State Department, specifically the embassies or consulates, do not have a good system, even though the applicant could clearly just on the spot show, yeah, it was one of our clients, show at the window, the clerk window, hey, yeah, I did email, and here it is. Like that's super frustrating because it just, look, hey, if it was our law firm, y'all would complain like, hey, I sent you this info, how come you didn't see it? Blah blah. The government, they don't care. They really don't care. I mean, the officers, some officers, they express empathy and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's part of the problem is probably their systems. How is it that anyway, that just they need a better system because they can't just say, "Oh, email it back in." And clearly, so we have something for our clients. For example, we have a support page after you become a client, and you're always welcome to email in. But if for some odd reason we don't reply in 24 to 48 hours, you can go to the support page and submit a ticket. It's like as if we're any other company, I guess. I guess not all companies do that, but it's just like our third mechanism p- way that you can contact us in case we miss replying to your email. Who knows? It could go into spam, right? But for the government, that's just ridiculous. What's going on, Malik? So, what's up with Dreamers? Not much, really, unfortunately. People, all these senators, House of Reps do all this talk, but Senator Cornyn out of Texas was the last person I remember on Republican side saying that, oh, I want to help Dreamers, but this is just a bunch of bullcrap talk. I'm so unfortunately, Malik. Sorry to tell you that, but it's now 2023, so next year is the presidential election already. So most people think about like only the president, but it's really also the senators and House of Representatives. It's very, very important to vote for people in that position as well. Okay. And it's not just immigration, right? Like whoever, and of course, only US citizens can vote. If that's not clear, only US citizens can vote. Because if you are not a US citizen, do not allow other government officials like Department of Public Safety, people working in the clerk's counter. I've heard of stories. We've had a client do this where the clerk had said, "Hey, do you want to become, apply to become a U.S. citizen?" Of course, you would, well, maybe not, of course, but some people would think, "Oh, this is a government official, so if they say I could do it, why not?" No, do not follow the ridiculous advice from these. Not, and it's not even a federal employee. This people that handle help with DPS and DMV, Department of Motor Vehicle. That's a state employee, first of all. So state employees don't know anything about. Maybe they do personally, but they're not supposed to give you legal advice for federal laws, which is immigration laws, federal. Okay, so please be careful. You don't want to be permanently barred because you voted or registered to vote on accident. All right, let's see. Let's see. Anu, you've got a question. I know you mentioned about considering to move. If you didn't file it together and you moved to India, how much time do you have to apply for 485 based on I-360 as opposed to consular? Um, yeah, this is a delicate situation. You might want to call in for this because, first of all, you need to have a for timing. I don't know what you mean by timing before you have to leave. Because at this point, I think I recall you've overstayed any visa you may have had. So yeah, I just wouldn't leave. But if you had to leave, you want to make sure that you're qualified for a waiver, or if you had advanced parole. So if you're depending on the advanced parole, which is usually what most people try or some people depend on, then you want to file the 485 with all the other forms as well, the 131. Okay, don't wait on that. But I think you filed the I-360 a while back. I'm wondering why you didn't file the 485. If you haven't already, just do that as soon as possible. I'm not sure what you're waiting for. I see, Anu, that you asked a hypothetical. I don't like to get into hypotheticals. Well, I mean, we have to assume on YouTube everything is a hypothetical. Um, well, assuming this hypothetical is in the present tense, then no, they can't apply for DACA. DACA's not available anymore for first-time applicants. So there's conservative states, including Texas, that sued the government a couple of years ago about this under Trump administration. So no, the hypothetical is not possible. It is a very unfortunate thing about H4 dependents or children of H-1B holders to that are about to age out. It's very unfortunate. The law needs to cover help those folks out as well. Let's see here. Banga, what happens if one has a pending labor certification with DOL for permanent application, but what happens if OPT expires and no H-1B? What options are available? You gotta leave. You gotta leave before your OPT expires. Okay. Because if you can't maintain status, the 245 INA 245K only covers 180 days of unlawful presence only for employment-based cases. Okay. It's very unfortunate. So you got to find a way to safely, peacefully leave before your OPT expires. Okay. And then maybe in the meantime, find other contacts, employer contacts, company sponsors you for the H-1B, or maybe even the same company. But at this point, if you want to come back into America, legally, you gotta um, find another company at least, someone, some company sponsor you. Okay, hopefully it helps. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no other. Without knowing more detail about your situation, um, maybe to do change of status or something. That's my default answer. That you would have to leave before your status expires. Alrighty. Yannick, you started your family reunification procedure process application back in June 2022. And you still got no feedback. I think you mean like the case status. Yeah, they're hella slow. They have no incentive to hurry it up, unfortunately. As far as I know, for these, I think you're talking about like humanitarian parole. Um, even for there's a recent announcement, actually, I think yesterday, that for the hmm, countries like Venezuela, is it El Salvador? Haiti. They they have a limit of 30,000 per month, but they're trying to do like a bifurcated process where half of them will be issued to people who already applied months before, and then the other half is going to be issued to people who recently applied within the past month. So I don't know why they're doing that. Maybe in case people get a little too anxious and do try to get to the border. Otherwise, I would think the government would just provide these 10,000 or 30,000 parolee status to those that applied a long time ago, right? So, just to me, it just shows that their system is ridiculous. They don't have a system, uh, technology-wise, to appropriately accommodate these requests. Oh, Anu, you're making this too complicated. I You already filed the 485, so I don't know why you would do that. But maybe there's something personal going on that, of course, you don't need to share here. But yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know if there's a timing of when you have to file the 485 because U visa, there's a timing restriction on that. I have to check. That is interesting. I have to check with the team. All these, yeah, and yeah, U visa has that restriction. Okay, 1 year. Um, if a spouse passes away, you file for widower application self petition, which is the same application I-360. That's a 2 year restriction. So yeah, there are some scenarios. So thanks for asking. Okay, now I understand better. Thank you very much. But yeah, I am kind of curious, but you don't have to share online. I'm curious why you want to withdraw. Maybe it's taking so long. Probably taking so long for you. Um, Sorry to hear that. Okay. Hopefully you can stick it through. But that makes me think. Okay, let me pull up the processing time. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen. Oh yeah, America is expensive. Okay, thanks for sharing that. And especially with inflation, pretty goes. Okay, 485. I'm clicking on that one. Form category. This is based on. Okay, here. Hmm. Yeah, I don't remember if VAWA actually is under. I thought they had their own here. I don't remember if it would be under family based or not. So I have to check on that. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. All right. So okay, folks, we're coming on. This is a bit longer than I expected right now. I do have to jump to another meeting, but if you're joining for the first time, we do offer free, no cost to you, mini strategy session, point you in the right direction. There's no obligation to hire us. It'll be our pleasure to assist you from start to finish, or maybe in the middle, if you have an RFE or something, notice of intent to deny, and help you all the way to get your legal status, or even if your case is stuck and you're just waiting for interview or you're just waiting for the visa and you're waiting after the interview. Okay. So you're welcome to give us a call right up here, answer a couple questions on the forum, or download a guide on our website, greencardguys.com. It's my pleasure to assist you. And by the way, if you are on TikTok, okay, folks, if you're on TikTok, we do share quick tips in there over there, 15, 30 seconds. And give it a follow, okay? Green Card Guys underscore John. It'll be give me some feedback. Let me know how I'm doing over there. And if you got any value from any of our conversations in the past, you're welcome to go to reviewtinglaw.com and share your experience. We really appreciate it. If you actually spoke to one of our CARES team members, please mention your name. As I do, our leadership does provide prizes to them at the end of the month because really focus on customer service for y'all. Okay. Thank you so much. And I wish you a wonderful day. Take care.